Many times we drag a formula beyond that what we need, just to consider in case if any new data comes that formula would cover. But that leaves us with some extra rows with 0, that's not only ugly but confusing as well. There is a new feature which solves this problem. It's called the dot operator. Let's see how to use it in this video and few of the real-life use cases. Let's see this example. Here we have products and the in-stock quantity, and we want to calculate the balance quantity on the side. If you want to do it for all of these cells, you might think of just pressing the equal sign and selecting all of the in-stock minus all of the sold quantities. As soon as you hit enter, you will see calculated data is filled in all the cells. That said, if I were to add some more data here, you'll notice that the formula doesn't automatically come lower down. Instead of dragging down the formula manually every time, you would think of selecting bigger range to accommodate new data. To do that, I can just double-click to edit the formula and increase the selection range like this, so we have some extra rows available. Now, when you hit enter, you'll see that all of data gets calculated, but the problem is that we have all of these zeros on the bottom, which are of no use and causes confusion, and obviously looks ugly too. To fix this, you can think of using the if statement, which will help you solve this problem. So here, let me delete this formula and simply write the if statement and put the condition. So my condition would be if the in-stock quantity minus the sold quantity is equals to 0, then put blank, else just put the result of that calculation, close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now just drag this formula all the way down to the bottom area and include few more rows as buffer. This looks better than before, but you'll notice when the actual value equals to 0, which can happen when in stock minus sold quantity could be exactly 0, then we have nothing in here, which is even more confusing. And definitely for this simple calculation using the complicated if conditions is time-consuming. For all these reasons, Microsoft came up with the dot operator. All we need to do is select the relevant ranges, so let's say all of this in stock range minus all of this sold range on the side, with some extra rows there, and if we just hit enter there, you'll notice we get the zeros, but now all we need to do is add the dot. You can see here in the colon, just after that, I need to put a dot. You heard it right, it's just a dot there, and another one on this side. When I hit enter now, you'll notice that it's actually showing us the 0 here, because 100 minus 100 is 0, but for anything below that, it's not showing any zeros. This is fully dynamic, so I can simply add data in next row and you can see that balance is calculated automatically. That's not all though, it doesn't just work for data below a certain range, it also works for data above it. Let me show you an example. Suppose that we've got this whole balance area which we want to basically copy into a separate sheet. So I can go on another sheet right here, and maybe it's better to select the whole column, this way we don't have to worry about how long our range is, so I can just select the whole. And hit enter. You notice when I do that, I have a 0 up top and I have a lot of zeros down below, which looks very ugly. That said, as you might recall earlier, we added a dot and that removed all of the zeros we had below. Now for the top part, as you might be able to guess, we just need to add a dot up front. Hit enter there, and now it's moved it all the way up, so the balance is our first row now. And of course, this is fully dynamic too, so for instance, if I added some more data on the top right here and some extra data over here on the bottom and we went back to the worksheet without needing to press refresh or anything like that, it's all being updated here too. You might be surprised to hear that the dot operator is actually a bit of a shortcut. In fact, it's part of a bigger function called the TRIMRANGE function. So let me show you how that works. Let me remove the dot operator so that we can have some zeros in front and some zeros in the end. As we have seen, to remove the zeros before and after, we used the dot operator. But if you wanted to use a formula instead, it's the TRIMRANGE function. All we have to do is to cover this range in parenthesis of TRIMRANGE function and hit enter. You'll notice that is removed 0 from the front and from the end as well. If we go back inside of the function and put a comma there, you'll notice that we have this trim mode. To get rid of the zeros on the top, use 1, get rid of the ones on the bottom, use 2, and use 3 if want to get rid of zeros both sides. When you press comma key again, this is if you had the data in a column instead of in a row format. Let's just put 1 and hit enter and you see that leading zeros at the top are gone. And same way, if you change it to 2, trailing zeros from the bottom are gone. And if you don't give any number or put 3, then zeros are gone from both the sides. You might think the TRIMRANGE function is a great substitute for the dot operator, but here's the catch. When formulas get a little more complex, that's not really the case. Let me show you. Imagine we've got a subtraction formula, and we just want to clean up these extra zeros. If we only wrap the formula with TRIMRANGE at the start and hit enter, you'll see we actually get errors toward the bottom. So what do we have to do? We need to add another TRIMRANGE at the end as well. That fixes the problem, but now take a look at the formula bar. Suddenly, this super simple subtraction looks long, clunky, and way harder than it should be. And that's exactly why I'd recommend sticking with the dot operator. It's much cleaner, easier to use, and gets the job done without all that extra mess. Up next, let's dive into some more real-world, complex examples where the dot operator really shines. But before we continue, if you're enjoying this walkthrough and want to see more videos like this to level up your skills even further, make sure to subscribe the channel so that you will get the notifications for all the uploads. Alright, let's get back to it. Here I have a case where I want to find all the unique products from the list, and as you know, there are always a chance to get the new products added in the list. So what do? Let's try to use the unique function and select the column as a range to find the unique products. When you hit enter, you will see the leading 0, the problem we saw in our previous example, and it's appearing here because we have select the whole column B, which included the cells of column B, and it shows up as one unique product. To solve this problem, let's use the dot operator. Just double-click and edit the formula and put the dot before and after the colon and hit enter, and 0 is gone from the unique product list. Another real-life use case of the dot operator is when working with drop-down lists. For example, say we want a drop-down that pulls in our entire product list. We'd head over to the Data tab, click on Data Validation, and set it to List. Then for the source, we'd select the full product range and include few more rows for the later inclusion of more products. The problem? If we select all the way down to leave room for future entries, we end up with blank rows showing up in the drop-down. Not ideal. The fix is simple. Just add a dot after the colon in your range. Hit OK and boom, no more empty options at the bottom. Even better, when we add new products, they automatically appear in the list. Next real-life usage of the dot operator is, let's say if we need to count the unique products in our list. We will use count A and unique functions combination and select the range including blank rows. As a result, count will have incorrect number because it would have considered blank rows as a one unique data. To solve this, just double-click the formula to edit it, and add a dot operator after the colon and hit enter. And now, you can see the correct count of unique products is shown. So, we are at the end of this tutorial on the dot operator. If you find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe and share it with your friends. Also let me know in the comment if you have any question or want to see a video on any other topic. Thank you for now, see you in the next video.